We're going to take a live look outside of our Savannah cams. We're looking over the Savannah port. Storm Team 3 meteorologist Hannah Evans is here with your forecast first. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning, Tyler. Well, it's a nice start out there this morning. It is just pretty warm and it's muggy as our temperatures are in the 70s. We're even already close to 80 degrees in Savannah and on Hilton Head this morning. 72 degrees in Pembroke and Statesboro, reaching 80 degrees down in Darien with those dry conditions on our Viper radar. Now looking at our satellite and radar, we have no systems around us, but we are going to be seeing some extra moisture coming in from the south of us, so that we are going to be seeing some more cloud cover out there today compared to yesterday, and then we're actually going to be seeing the chance of a stray shower or storm, and that will be for the afternoon and evening of today, and that's especially going to be west of 95. Because it's so warm out there today, we will have extra energy in the atmosphere for a few of those storms possibly to be on the stronger side, with gusty winds being the main threat, because these are our high temperatures today. 91 degrees in Glenville and Pembroke, 92 degrees in Statesboro and Metter. So of course we have that extra energy in the atmosphere. For tomorrow though, we will dry out. We'll stay pretty warm, highs in the upper 80s and low 90s again, which I will talk a little bit more about how we are going to be seeing that heat continuing throughout the week in just a few minutes. Tyler.
Thanks, Hannah. Well, WSAV is your local election headquarters, and voting rights activists across the nation are using their voices in protesting against the United States Supreme Court's recent ruling on racial gerrymandering and Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. WSAV's Jillian Coles has our top story on yesterday's All Roads Lead to the South rally that happened here in Savannah.
We are not powerless.
Coastal Georgia Partners, a group of local organizations dedicated to nonpartisan voting rights work, are encouraging people to use the power of their vote. As a part of the National Day of Action called All Roads Lead to the South, the group is rallying against a recent United States Supreme Court ruling that found Louisiana's congressional map relies too heavily on race.
This most recent decision is going to make it harder for Black Georgians when they vote to actually have their influence at the ballot box felt.
Louisiana's lines were redrawn in 2024 to create a second majority Black district, which the Supreme Court now says violates constitutional limits. Protesters say this decision goes against the Voting Rights Act of 1965 and dilutes the voice of minority citizens. Following that ruling, South Carolina held a session considering redistricting.
In all of my over 5 decades, I've never saw where we were redistricting in the middle of a 10-year cycle. Yet, now we're seeing it. South Carolina, well, we'll do it. Georgia, we're not going to do it. Oh, but guess what? We're going to do it too.
While South Carolina's initial redistricting attempt failed, protesters say they're afraid of Georgia trying.
I don't want people to look at this as a Republican issue or a Democrat issue. It is not. Gerrymandering hurts everyone.
Activists are preaching they refuse to go back in time.
We have to fight in order to keep what our forefathers fought for. People have bled and died to try to get the right to vote and get these districts the way it is. And if we don't stand here and fight for it, it's no use in us even living.
Their ultimate goal, getting everyone to the polls on Tuesday.
When we have the people we want elected into office, we can demand of them, hey, I need you to represent me better on this, right? I don't like that you did this, or I did like that you did this. Please do more of this.
Jillian Coles, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Meanwhile, the NAACP in South Carolina is expressing concerns over South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster's call for a special session over redistricting the state. Shakira Speaks reports.
South Carolina NAACP President Brenda Murphy says she was surprised to hear Governor Henry McMaster call lawmakers back to work Friday to discuss new congressional district maps. McMaster previously stated he would not call a special session.
This redrawing could lead to additional challenges for us.
Republicans want to give their party majorities in all the state's congressional districts, unseating the only Democrat and African American in the House, Jim Clyburn.
This particular proposed map is NRRT's best effort at a map that would elect 7 Republican candidates based on their current political voter data.
Data from the Independent Voter Project shows 41% of South Carolinians voted Democrat in the last primary, while 48% voted Republican. The rest voted independent. Some state lawmakers on the fence about redistricting say it could push more Black voters to the polls.
Before this even happened, we were in the process of looking at data regarding our history in terms of voting, strategically planning to work in our communities.
This map by bestneighborhood.org shows York County and surrounding counties leaning heavily Republican. Western York County NAACP President James Knox says Democratic voter turnout was disappointing during the last election.
In the last general election, I had a lot of people concerned by, what does this mean for my pocket? What does it mean for my wallet? What does it mean for my home? And now we're starting to see what these things mean to our homes, to our jobs, to our livelihood, to our very existence right now.
The NAACP and other organizations held a mobilization call on Thursday to plan their next steps, whether the map is redrawn or not. But leaders are keeping the details private ahead of the midterms.
We've already started to work in our community.
We are fighters. Our forefathers died for us to have the privileges that we have today. And we have to preserve those rights and fight, fight, fight.
Reporting in South Carolina, Shakir Speaks, Queen City News.
This all comes as states around the country are fighting over redistricting, including here in Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Virginia, and more. And as we get closer to primary election day in Georgia, one gubernatorial candidate made a stop in the hostess city yesterday. Former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms continued her Our Rights, Our Future tour in Savannah at Front Porch Improv on Victory Drive, talking with and taking questions from voters. Bottoms noted that coastal Georgia is an important piece in the race to be Georgia's next governor.
So glad to be back in Savannah, and we are moving around the state. South Georgia is very important, especially coastal Georgia, to this election. That's the reason that we're making it a part of our last week. We've already seen a record turnout with early voting, but we want to keep that momentum going through Election Day for Democrats.
Bottoms also noted that current national events like the ongoing battle over redistricting highlights the importance of showing up and voting in each and every election. And primary election day in Georgia is this Tuesday. If you need a ride to the polls, the Savannah branch of the NAACP is able to help you out. They are offering free rides to polling places for those who need them. You can call their office at that number on your screen. That's 912-233-4161 tomorrow, Monday, May 18th, between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. to prearrange a pickup, or between those same hours on Tuesday. Again, that number is 912-233-4161. And for more information about this year's election, just visit wsav.com/electionhq. Now to some new developments. An arrest has been made in connection to a fatal shooting in Savannah earlier this week. The Savannah Police Department says 55-year-old Gregory Green was taken into custody yesterday by SPD's homicide and SWAT units. Green is being charged with murder and aggravated assault in connection to a fatal shooting on Thursday in the 1000 block of East 38th Street. The investigation into that shooting is ongoing, and anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 912-234-2020. And South Carolina's Attorney General says the death penalty is an option for Murdoch's new trial. In an interview with NBC's Dateline on Friday, Attorney General Alan Wilson said the prosecution is back to square one, meaning all legal options are on the table, including the death penalty. All legal options does include the possibility of a plea deal, but Murdoch's attorneys say he won't take a deal under any circumstances. Concerns are growing over security at Bonaventure Cemetery after one woman reported damaged decorations and stolen items at her family's gravesite. WSAV's Nakai Harris spoke with her, and she says the problems have gone on for years.
One family says vandalism at Bonaventure Cemetery is leaving them frustrated, especially when they have to pay for the repairs themselves.
Yes, 1978.
A family with loved ones buried at Bonaventure Cemetery says they've dealt with ongoing issues over the years, including missing flowers, stolen flags, and damaged grave decorations.
It's just heartbreak, and then anger sets in.
Suzanne Stokes Edwards says items placed at her family's gravesite have repeatedly been taken or disturbed, including a marble lamb on her brother's grave that she says had its ear broken off. She says she has returned to find decorations gone just days after placing them.
We had taken off the Christmas flowers and had placed 4 new arrangements that we had made. And I came out like 2 or 3 days later, and all the arrangements were gone.
She tells me the repeated incidents have led to ongoing out-of-pocket costs for repairs and replacements.
When you're including monument repairs and Copeland repairs, it's in the several thousands.
And a growing concern about a lack of visible security at the cemetery.
City of Savannah should be stepping up more. You know, we as families have asked for some type of security for years, not to come up and manhandle anybody, but let people see.
The city of Savannah says cemetery staff take reports of theft and damage seriously and recently reviewed the site after hearing the family's concern. Officials say staff previously addressed concerns raised in January, including items being taken and marble cradling around a grave being disturbed, which they say was reset by maintenance. The city says incidents like these are rare, but they do occasionally happen, and that the cemetery is staffed daily and secured each evening at 5 p.m. Families are also encouraged to file police reports when incidents occur. Nakaya Harris, WSAV News 3, on your side.